Hello, hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. This is Kate Woodlock, founder of Empowerment Through Spirit and the admin for this group. I just wanted to hop on and talk about negative patterns in relationships. Being stuck in these cycles of feeling unloved, unseen, unappreciated, unworthy, unimportant in relationships, and being stuck in these patterns of feeling that way in our relationships. I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she was talking about being in a relationship where she felt like she was in that relationship with a teenager. She's actually in a relationship with a grown person, an adult, but feeling like she was in a relationship with a teenager. And this is something that I hear all the time. This is so common and something that I hear constantly. Women who are just frustrated and angry, feeling like their partners act like children, picking up after them, dishes and clothes all over the house, dealing with someone who is unwilling to communicate, unwilling to talk to you about how you feel, what's going on in your life, unwilling to go in deep into the emotional landscape of who you are and what's going on with you. You get home from work and they're sitting there on the couch playing video games, and they don't want to talk to you. They want you to do everything for them, like you're their mother or something like that. The real intimate connection and communication just isn't there. Feeling like you're being ignored or given the cold shoulder if you do ask for help. That one's the worst. When you do finally ask for help and you just get ignored, really feeling unseen and unheard for who you really are. That one hurts a lot. That one stings. And then dealing with like mini temper tantrums and the slamming of doors and the stomping around the house. And it can really, really take its toll, and it causes frustration and anger, sadness. And if that goes on for a long time, it can really make you feel fed up, and especially if that's a cycle, something that, has happened throughout a number of different relationships. And when you're dealing with adults and you look around at your reality and you're like, what is going on? Like, this is an adult I'm dealing with. Why is this happening? Why does this keep happening? And it's kind of interesting when you really take a step back and look at it, because in reality, there's 4 people in a relationship like this. It's the 2 adult versions and then the 2 childhood versions of yourselves in that relationship. And you start to realize when, you've been in the relationship for a little while and things start to get a little bit more comfortable, you are now face to face with all of the childhood beliefs and conditionings that both of you have. It's not the same person that you met when you first got together. And that can get ugly. Some weird stuff comes out and some ugly things come out. Maybe your partner's mother or their parents did everything for them. Maybe they, made dinner and washed all of their clothes, and suddenly your partner expects you to do those things. And if you're not strong within yourself and within your own beliefs about who you are and what you expect the relationship to be like, and if you're not willing to stand up and say, no, I want this to be an even flowing relationship with even partners in a balanced way on both sides, it is very easy to just hand your power over and say, okay, I want you to love me in whatever way is possible in this relationship. And then it ends up in that total lack of balance where things are just one side or the other, and you take whatever you can get. And if that's a pattern that you've seen throughout relationships over and over, and you don't realize why it's happening, you can end up crying yourself to sleep at night, wondering why you always seem to attract these unfulfilling relationships, feeling unloved and unseen and unappreciated, like nobody understands you and you can't talk to your partner and they won't talk to you really, ending up with the same type of person over and over and never really feeling loved in return, giving so much of yourself, like really going above and beyond and giving so much of your heart, giving so much of your soul, just trying to get that love in return, love that you absolutely deserve, and it never being reciprocated. And what's really going on is actually inside of you. I hate to say it, but I will, because it needs to be said. Every relationship that we have is a mirror of what's going on within ourselves. So when you are not feeling those things that you want from a relationship inside of you, when you're not feeling that sense of feeling worthy, that sense of feeling really like you are loved, that you love yourself, when you're not feeling appreciative of yourself, when you're not feeling like you are a prize to be won, like that you are important, that you deserve to be here, when you're not feeling empowered, that is exactly what is going to be reflected back to you in your relationships, and not just in intimate relationships, but your relationships with your family, with your friends. That is all going to be reflected back to you every time, in every instance. Um, and if you have, that cycle when it's happened over and over, and most people do, because, we take ourselves everywhere we go. So every time, you enter a new relationship and you expect it to be different, and you want it to be different, you're hoping it's going to be different, you take yourself with you. And, you've had some abusive relationships in the past and some negative patterns in relationships, and you're hoping it's going to be different, but you take yourself with you. And you've built this, this shelf where you say, okay, I had that relationship, and there was that bad thing that happened, and if things start to go a little bit awry, you've got this whole shelf built up where you say, oh man, that thing happened, and see, it's happening again. And and you've got this whole shelf with all of this proof of why you're unlovable, and why you're not important, and why you shouldn't be seen, and why things are going badly with you. And that's legitimate evidence and legitimate proof and legitimate traumas that happen throughout your life to knock you back down and to perpetuate that cycle of feeling unloved and unimportant and unseen and unworthy, and to knock you back down and just make the cycle go back around and back around and back around, because you've got all of this proof of real life events and real life things that happened. And it's a hard thing to break when you're feeling that way, and that creates those negative thought patterns, because the emotions come first, and then we go into these negative thought patterns, and it just creates this cycle around and around and around. And it's a difficult thing to break. But I'm telling you that your souls did not come in to physical form here to live like that, to live these miserable lives with these unfulfilling relationships. We didn't come here to feel unloved. We didn't come here to not love ourselves. We came here to learn lessons. We came here to break these cycles. And you deserve joyous lives with deep and amazing, wonderful relationships. So I'm telling you that you absolutely can break these cycles, and you deserve the most amazing lives. And if you are not living that way, there's a problem, but you are not alone. You are absolutely not alone. And there is a way to transmute and break those vicious cycles. It is a process, and it takes some discipline, and you really have to want to break those cycles. You have to be really ready to break them, and you have to be, at that point where you're really fed up and you've had enough, and you really want that self-love, and you want to attract those beautiful relationships, and you really want to create a new life for yourself. So if you are at that point where you're done, you're fed up, you want that self-love, you want those new relationships, send me a PM, get in touch with me. We'll have a conversation to see where you're at, what your life is like, and if you are a vibrational match for me to help you transform your reality. Hi, Liz. Glad to see you. I would love to get in touch with any of you, and that you are all here. So does anybody have any questions or comments? All right. All right. Much love to all of you, and I will see you all very soon.